There you go. We'll just restart the show. We're muted.
Yeah. Title cards.
Stephen is muted again. What is fucking going on?
We are not going to be doing... Is it okay now?
Yes, we'll start again,
okay.
Right? This is the start, right? We'll play a little music. Da, 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 da. The macros and OBS are killing us here. On you go, Stephen.
Hello and welcome to another movie review from MBE. We're here tonight to talk about The Father, the latest film from Anthony Hopkins. John, I'm going to bring up the details once again because I've already forgotten the director's name. He's only done two films. Florian Zeller. He has got a third film coming out. He's only done two films, and that one is called The Son, starring Hugh Jackman, which is just one of his pending projects. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about The Father, John. We're here to talk about Anthony Hopkins, Olivia Colman, and the rest of the gang. Imogen Poots in there as well, makes an appearance. John, I'm going to hand it over to you now anyway to take us through this review experience.
This feels like deja vu, Stephen. Let's bring up the ratings again.
Yeah,
that's how we rate movies on this channel. F shit, D decent, C good, B very good, A fucking fantastic, perfection. Think of Shawshank Redemption, The Godfather, movies like that. F, The Fanatic, Phoenix Forgotten. So that's how we review movies on here. That's how we grade them. It's up there. You can hear us now, hopefully.
Yeah.
If it's not, no luck, it'll be distorting as well now, Stephen. Because that's
I'm just going to go blah 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 just now, John. While
yes, I'll go to me then, Stephen, briefly. Ultimately, Stephen, when we do our sort of review set up in here, we've got a guideline we base it off of. We speak about the story, standout moments, performances, technical stuff, and then we go on to give our overall thoughts. But first and foremost, Stephen, we like to, and bring this up, we like to speak about the build-up to the movie, what it meant to us. Yeah. Stephen, as you do know, we have both suffered with the dreaded Alzheimer's dementia. Both of us have had family who have sadly suffered from this god-awful disease, one of the worst diseases that can strike a human. I think alongside the likes of motor neurons and just cancer and stuff like that. It's a horrific disease. So when I heard that Tony Hopkins was playing a dementia sufferer in a movie, and that it was going to be delving into psychological stuff, what's real, what's not real, his family, how it's impacting on them, the great Olivia Colman was in it. I was excited right off the bat about it. I thought it was Oscar baiting, that he had a great chance of winning it. He ultimately does win for Best Actor. And Stephen, as you said before, we actually had our sound issues and had to go back and redo the entire fucking intro of the show. We had the whole furore over him winning Best Actor. Should he have deserved it? Should it have been Chadwick Boseman? We have watched this movie now, Stephen, and we both agree he absolutely did deserve to win that Oscar because he was sublime in this movie. But Stephen, what was your thoughts going into this? I've heard about this through an article that he was playing a dementia sufferer, that it was an interesting concept. That intrigued me, and I look forward to watching it. Yeah,
John, I think it was about February time. My wife mentioned there's this film coming out with Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman. She plays the daughter, he's the father, he suffers dementia, and right away I'm intrigued. But it's funny, you know, your perceptions of a film that you've just heard, and then when it comes out and you get the guy winning the Best Actor. When I was told about the film, I thought perhaps I can get this on a streaming service or something like that, maybe get a hold of it in that fashion back in February. Couldn't see it anywhere. I thought, is this just going to be an under the radar film? I'm glad it wasn't an under the radar film. Certainly with Anthony Hopkins in it certainly wouldn't be anyway. So the anticipation was already there, John, a few months ago. I was looking forward to seeing this, and then obviously as the Academy Awards rolled merrily forward, that's when the talk of all these films all start coming out, you know, and
we were late seeing it.
Yeah, we were late.
It didn't come out.
Yeah, exactly, John.
Because of COVID.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's such a great film. I know we're going to get into it, John, but just it's an emotional roller coaster of a film.
Yes, Steve, we always like to give a brief, sort of succinct thoughts, and then anyone that's got the attention span of a pea and comes in can see that and then bugger off. For the others that actually want to hear us speak about it in depth, if that's such a thing, without notes, we'll find out in a moment. This is an experience for me. They can stay along for the journey. Steve, my initial thoughts on this, my summed up thoughts, quick, are that it's absolutely superb. I think it should have won the Best Picture at the Oscars as well. I think it was a superior story to Nomadland. So that's my thoughts. I absolutely loved it. So you can fuck off now if that's you. You're bored and you don't understand us. If you understood that, there you go. You can go away now, happy, knowing what these two randomers from Glasgow think of this movie. But Stephen, as an actual more in-depth look at the movie, the story, Stephen, the story. Now I'm going to go and try and do this, Stephen. It's not going to work initially because I've not captured the actual screen yet, because that's just the way this is working today. It's an absolute fucking
John, the
joke
synopsis
of a
on IMDb, for anyone that's not familiar, the film says a man refuses all assistance from his daughter as he ages. As he tries to make sense of his changing circumstances, he begins to doubt his loved ones, his own mind, and even the fabric of his reality. And John, I'll tell you something as well. I know we'll get into it. The audience get that as well.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the way they did this film. We are disorientated for most of this film.
Stephen,
and it all becomes clear, you know, at the finish. But it's a great way to tell a story as well, John. Involve the crowd, involve the audience in the story.
Absolutely, Stephen. And the director, Florian Zeller, I know for a fact that I'm bringing this up, I don't know why, because you can't even fucking see it because of me, so I'll just go out of here. Florian Zeller, I know for a fact, I think he created a stage play of this very same story. It hit sort of theatres, I don't know if it hit Broadway and stuff like that, but it certainly was a stage play kind of story. He rejigged it for motion picture and put it out there. And I have to say, to have the balls, the bravery, to take this concept from a theatre where it could perhaps work a little bit better.
Yeah.
If you've got a live audience, you can bound. They're sort of immersed a little bit more yet again than watching it on a TV or in the theatre. To take that from that setup and put it onto a big screen and turn it into a movie, that was ballsy. Because I said to you, Stephen, I've not seen this concept done in a movie before. We've seen it delve into lots of other conditions, paraplegia, things like that, cancer, tragic stories, but I've never seen a dementia story done.
From a storyteller point of view though, John, I think it works better on film for certain things like don't know if you noticed, the kitchen was updated after a space of 5 minutes or something like that. It was a very old-fashioned looking kitchen from maybe the 70s or the 80s, and then it was a modern kitchen. I don't know how they would do that in obviously a stage play, but
very quick sort of, I don't know, changing the background.
But it's just little subtle things, isn't it? It's not really important, but it's just little things like that I noticed, and it keeps you interested, and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Is this the same house? Is this the same building? There was elements of that creeping in, and then as the film developed, it wasn't just the house that was blending into, it was blending into hospital wards, etc. And you're like, well, this is getting a bit surreal. The daughter,
the scene when she's shouting on him when he's sleeping, he wakes up, opens the door and walks out, and he's in that home. Hairs in my arms were standing, Stephen, watching that. You're right. I'm going to get right into technical stuff right off the bat, Stephen. Whilst we're speaking about story, the cinematography in this movie is phenomenal. For a story which primarily takes place inside this flat, the way they linger on shots of the rooms, the hall, doors, wide shots of the interior, fantastically shot this movie. I don't know who the cinematographer is, but I loved some of the lingering shots. To emphasise the quietness of the house, he's in it on his own in certain points. And he's maybe despairing because he's on his lonesome. We know that this disease feasts on people who don't have contact, have stimulating experiences. So I love the way that it did that. It was quiet.
John, I liked the editing as well. I think the editing in this film was part of the experience. There was a point where Olivia Colman's character Anne and I can't remember the chap's name, Paul. I think Rufus Sewell. Having a conversation, and Anthony Hopkins' character is sort of lingering in the corridor. You're getting to see the tail end of that conversation, and then it goes back to how that conversation began. It's very clever.
There's lots of little looping moments where something will happen, then it will end. It will go and focus on Anthony Hopkins' character, Anthony, funnily enough. We speculated on that. And then it goes back and comes right round to the scene again, and you see it expand out upon what happened. Stephen, it was very well edited, this movie. If this movie was poorly edited, if it was rushed, hi, how you doing? Welcome in. It would have been a disaster. Stephen, half the experience of a movie is in the editing room. That's where it is made. We've seen the likes of Chloe Zhao's Eternals, not even put her version out yet. That's where a movie is buffed. If you fuck the editing up, then the whole movie's gone. Forget about it. And it is perfectly edited, especially for the sort of disorientating effect that happens in this movie. All of the different changes in aesthetics in the flat, changes in his recollection of relationships, moments, experiences. It has you knocked for six, this movie, and that's in the editing room. That was accomplished. So again, I don't think it won an Oscar for editing, but it certainly deserved to win more than one Oscar. I think it won one Oscar, Stephen, for Anthony Hopkins, which is just shocking, really.
And a film with Olivia Colman, it is.
Exactly, Stephen. I know. I mean, who won Best Supporting Actor? Who was it that won Best Supporting?
I can't remember, John.
It should have been. Saying that, Stephen, Coleman was okay, but it was primarily Tony Hopkins. Let's be honest, it was all about him.
She was barely in it, to be fair.
And Stephen was a small cast too. I mean, I think it was about 10 people in this movie, which is probably par for the course, but it felt small for some reason because it was focusing on this this tiny little apartment wasn't. It was a fucking huge apartment, let's be honest. But Stephen, the story, man, I thought it was exquisitely written. I think it was Florian who wrote the story. As I says, he made it for a stage play, and he adapted it into motion picture form, and I thought the editing, the writing was absolutely on point. The character development in Anthony Hopkins, he goes on a journey in this movie, Stephen, and it's not a euphoric, nice journey, it's a tragic, sad journey. I was close to tears in the last scene, Stephen, I can't lie.
John, it was devastating.
Harrowing watching that. Because Stephen, look, it's one of my great fears, and I think it's a great fear of most human beings, losing your mind, losing your recollection of reality events. To watch that on a screen, playing out, your sort of the first-hand perspective in this story, it was harrowing watching.
John, what was going through my head was, in Anthony Hopkins' performance, those last 5 minutes was, this was someone's baby at one point, this was someone's son, this was someone's father, obviously, you know, and you got to remember that he wasn't born an old man with dementia, he had a life, you know, and this is where it's ended. John, the thing that scared me the most was the fact that he'd lost all grip of reality in terms of connections with anyone, friends or family were all away. And he was alone in his own mind. That was the scariest point for me.
I feel like I'm losing all my leaves.
Branches. That line, John, was heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking. And also the mummy bit, the bit he wanted his mummy, was, I'm telling you, John, how choked up I was. My wife was in tears. This is down to this man, Anthony Hopkins' execution of this character. 83-year-old Anthony Hopkins he's a sharp man.
Oldest ever. Best actor winner.
But this character he's playing, Anthony, in this film, you can connect with, obviously, through our own experiences, John, and that's what I think makes it tougher to watch. But what a performance. What an absolute amazing performance from him.
And look, she did say, Stephen, my grandfather had it, your grandfather had it, my great uncle had it, so I've had brushes with this disease. I've seen the deterioration in people who were once brilliant thinkers, great people, and they lose all track. They remember things from 50 years ago vividly like it was yesterday. They don't know what's happening recent time, if you like. They forget who their daughters are and stuff like that. Sons, it's a tragic disease, and I thought it was just brilliantly brought to the screen, and just it was tenderly handled, Stephen. It wasn't. I mean, I seen a review from Rotten Tomatoes saying this movie it descended into horror tropes. That it didn't handle the disease with respect. I thought to myself, what are you talking about? There was no horror in this movie. I didn't feel there was horror in this movie at any point. The only horror was the deterioration in the leading guy, Anthony. That was the horror. I didn't think it was handling the disease with anything but tenderness. I thought the guy done a great job for it, and I've not heard of this guy. I'm looking out for that movie, The Sun, now. Did you say Hugh Jackman, Steve?
Hugh Jackman,
Very intrigued by that now. But Steve, I thought the story was absolutely incredible. The character development, if there was any, it was almost like Benjamin Button reverse. It wasn't. It was Benjamin Button almost mentally. He went from a very acute guy, tap dancing and stuff like that, going backwards to almost being a baby inside internally. So it was like that, and it was handled brilliantly. The themes, I don't know if there was many themes explored in this movie, Stephen, other than just highlighting what a horrendous disease this is, bringing it to the attention.
The daughter and the father, I suppose, was there as well, John. You know, there was obviously a disconnect. He did make that statement about Laura, played by Imogen Poots, was his favourite daughter as well. And that's accurate. You did say, John, that, you know, obviously people who suffer dementia don't have that filter. They just say what they feel, and that's it. It was heartbreaking though. It was very sad to, obviously. I thought Olivia Colman, for the limited time she was in the film, was brilliant. She was just really good, as always, but there was moments in there you could tell the tension between the daughter and the father. That's probably the other sort of part of the film that kind of probably would get overlooked because of the subject matter. Standout moment, Stephen, for me, you're right what you says about the sort of strain it's putting on the family members. I've seen that firsthand as well with Mungo, who cared for my grandfather when he had dementia. The strain it put on him, the strain it put on the other family members. And it was accurately recreated once again. I thought was it Paul? It was played by, what's his name, Stephen? It's Rufus Sewell. He was also a bit of an aggressor. He was slapping him about. It wasn't confirmed it was, because Stephen, again, it's disorientating. There's multiple versions of reality, multiple characters saying the same stuff, acting out the same things deliberately, and the way it was brought to screen, it was very deliberate. The way it made you question. It was ambiguousness. I still don't understand the relationship of Paul to Anne. Was he the Frenchman? Was he
I think
the husband.
I think he was a husband.
It was just the partner. It's not really established because of the way it's told. But
I think the whole French team. What I took from it was the end scene when it's revealed he's in the care home. He's probably been in the care home for a long, long time. He's imagining the flat and stuff like that. His daughter, played by Olivia Colman, told the nurses to say to him, obviously, I'm away to Paris. I'm meeting a Frenchman. I won't be back. That was the story they recited to him to make him.
I think as well, John.
Think she was a
character played by Olivia Williams, the woman she's called. That's the the character's name in the film. Did say at the end that your daughter's not been here for about 3 months now. So there is that sort of time gap as well. She
contradicted herself at one point as well, though, Stephen. I think she says 3 months. Then she says she comes back every weekend or so to visit you. So again, she told me it was a construct. She'd made it up in a sense to pacify him. Yeah. Because he was also reciting the same things again and again and again as he deteriorated. Stephen, other standout moments. I just thought Tony Hopkins as a whole was a complete standout in this entire movie. The way he acted, sublime. Some of the quieter moments when he's looking out the window down at the little kid chasing the ball or the balloon, whatever it was he was kicking. Just innocent moments. Where he's in his own skin.
The music as well, John. The music was beautiful. Classical music. Just sitting in that chair. Moments like that, just that sort of tranquility. It's some peace in his final sort of months, if you like. Yeah,
and Stephen, again, standout moment. We spoke about it before. Just the way the movie was structured, the way it recited certain scenes, it changed decor, the way it just put you in the skin of this guy, what he was going through. Utterly harrowing, as I keep saying. Disorientating experience. I thought it was totally unique. Without repeating myself, I ain't seen it done before, man. I think it was sublime the way that they addressed this disease, because a lot of people probably still are ignorant towards it. They think people go a little bit doolally. That's the famous saying over here. They lose their marbles. It's all a big laugh. Oh, grandma or grandfather's a wee bit silly now, they're forgetting things, but it's an actual serious disease. It's a deterioration, and the way he's brought that to mainstream attention with this movie, what I presume he has, I hope most people have seen it because it's absolutely sublime. And that was another standout moment for me, just the way it just ebbed and flowed, man. Look, Stephen, we're going to be reviewing Nomadland, and we'll be reviewing it after this. It won Best Picture.
Yep. Hold back, John.
Yes, it won.
I'll save that for that review.
It won Best Picture, but
I know where you're going.
I think this one deserves, Stephen. I really do.
I do as well, John.
I think this one deserves to win it. I just think it's a superior film, Stephen.
Yeah, watching them very close together.
And it's not to say Nomadland shit. It's not. It's brilliant.
You shouldn't compare them either. They're totally different stories and totally different themes and tones and stuff like that. But John, the Father for me is one of the best films I've seen in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
For drama and for acting.
It's sort of with Parasite for me, Stephen.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Parasite's obviously near perfection. I think that is a nearly perfect movie. In fact, I can't think of anything wrong with Parasite, so that is a perfect movie.
The sort of undertones of the story worked for us, but certainly in this case as well, it's a simpler story, I think, in this case, but it's more about performance for me in this film. Performance of Anthony Hopkins. Olivia Colman to an extent. She was limited in her screen time, and it was a very scaled down cast as well. I actually count 7.
Was it 7? I thought it was a little bit more.
And that's including the boy with the balloon.
So he wasn't really in it.
So it's a very condensed cast, but that works for this kind of topic, if you like.
And Stephen, again, the final thing I'll say on performances, because look, we're speaking about... Look, I'll not do her disservice by saying it was Anthony Hopkins solely. Olivia Colman's sublime. She's a great actor. She's won Academy Awards. She's won numerous Golden Globes. She's very, very good in this, again, without repeating myself. She plays that sort of tired, at her wit's end sort of family member having to deal with this, and she's brilliant at doing it. How she didn't win the Oscars beyond me, but Tony Hopkins is just unbelievable, man. He's been nominated 6 times, I think, at the Academy Awards. He's only won twice.
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs in this.
Yeah, Hannibal Lecter.
Which is crazy to me, because he's such a good actor. But look, man, you get the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio having to wait 25, 30 years to get a win.
Gary Oldman as well.
Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Stephen, he had to wait to fucking Scent of a Woman. He played Michael Corleone in The Godfather.
Yeah.
And he didn't win it, so we'll give him a buy in a sense, because obviously there's
Daniel Day-Lewis was actually working at the time.
Tom Hanks as well, Stephen. He was kind of his pomp, wasn't he, in the sort of 80s, 90s, and these guys were floating around, so it's hard to get in when those guys are winning everything. Daniel Day-Lewis is like that guy. It's good at fucking everything, every sport. It's like, oh, you're going to do that as well? Oh, you're perfect at it. What a surprise. I love Daniel Day-Lewis though. So Stephen, final thoughts in the movie, man. We're keeping it very short because there's no real structure or rhyme or reason to it.
John, I like this. I actually like this. Just it's more a conversation rather than structure.
It is, Stephen. It's better because you're just sort of bouncing off of each other and giving your thoughts in general. You're not. Well, let's speak about this now.
Well, John,
let's
it's funny
speak
you should
about
say
this
that
now.
because when we do the structured one and we move on from a certain area of that topic, there's something that might pop into my head. I went, I can't talk about that now.
Oh, you can always talk about it, Stephen.
You know?
Always. If that ever happens, speak about it, man. You don't have to be structured. I say that before, Stephen. That's why I dive right into technical right at the start, just to say, see that structure, get it to fuck. It doesn't matter. Let's just speak about it whatever way we want. Stephen, the score as well, it was a subtle score, and then it wasn't really. And Stephen, I have to briefly speak before we do end this review and give our final thoughts.
Yeah.
Once again, on the way, there was a slight horror element, I would say, to go back on my word I said before. Although the way he worded it was completely wrong. He was using it as a stick to beat the movie with. The
haunting,
way, haunting. When he goes through that room again into that home, and he's completely out his mind, he doesn't know where he is. I'm like, that's incredible. And it was haunting as well. It was almost like the Shining level of uncomfortable. Yeah. But it didn't linger on it. It wasn't something that was a primary theme explored in the movie. It was all about this guy and this disease. Stephen, overall thoughts, man, as I did say, I loved it, man. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It wasn't. I can't sit here and say it was an enjoyable watch. No, it was an uncomfortable watch. It made me feel uncomfortable. I thought long and hard about it afterwards. But sometimes they're the exact kind of movies you need to watch. The likes of, I don't know, try to think of uncomfortable movies. Maybe The Sixth Sense. That made me think long and hard. M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah. Maybe I don't know, man. There's lots of movies out there that make you
uncomfortable. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest as well.
Yeah, that's a classic one, Stephen. I'm completely blanking on the black and white one from Steven Spielberg that I'm trying to think of about the Holocaust. Schindler's List. I fucking wrote a novel. I didn't write a novel, I wrote an essay about that novel and I can't remember the name, man. It's that time of the night. Yeah. These kind of movies are required. They're necessary viewing. You can't just sit and watch things that make you happy. You need the full human lexicon of emotions when you're watching a movie. This movie filled in that uncomfortable sort of void that I was trying to stay away from. And Stephen, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it deserved, to re-emphasise once again, it deserved to win Best Picture at the Oscars.
John, I would thought agree. It was
I can't really the best picture I've seen this year.
I can't really say anything that you've not already said because I totally agree with everything you said. But I will finish with the last 5 minutes. This film will stay with me for a very long time. It's one of those films that you won't forget in a hurry. It's not. Just the impact of the performance for me from Anthony Hopkins and the whole film, but particularly those last 5 minutes, very haunting as you said, and very emotional, very sad and tragic, but it's real. That's what I love about this film. It's real. These things happen
because we've experienced it, Stephen, and we know it's real. So that's why I think it probably affected me so much watching that final scene, because I was there in the final moments with my grandfather, so I know what it's all about. And Stephen, you need more stories like this, man, that touch you in that sort of heart, your core, if you like, man. But Stephen, what are we rating this movie? We're rating it. Are we going with what we originally?
Yeah, I think we should, John.
Let's just press it then. We're rating this movie, if it will animate, come on, a B+. Yeah. I need to do something with that. I need to put music or something on it, man, and do a sound effect.
Crowd cheers.
Stephen, I was toying with rating it an A-, and I know you were as well, but to be frank, I didn't animate the A- graphic because there's been no movies that have been worthy of an A, so it wasn't in the OBS, so I just rated it a B. We rated it, Stephen, it's not a perfect movie. There is some little niggly elements in there, I would imagine, if I looked further, but it's pretty damn fucking close, let's be honest. A B+, I think, is completely fair. But Stephen, have you got any more thoughts before we round this review up?
It's one of those films I might go back to in a long time from now. We were talking about it before, John, the previous 3-4 years of Best Picture films. I know this wasn't Best Picture, but your likes of Shape of Water, Three Billboards, Green Book, they're all great films, amazing films, John. Moonlight. But I've only watched them once. That doesn't make them a bad film. They left an imprint with me in my memory forever, and this film's up there with that as well. Absolutely,
Stephen, that would be the one niggle I would have. It doesn't have, and it's not a niggle because not every movie can have infinite rewatchability like Schindler's List, Shawshank Redemption. I don't want to watch Schindler's List every day. Jesus Christ, I'd be tanning my wrists. Even the great Ben Kingsley and Liam Neeson can't make me watch that movie. But it does have that little issue with it. You can't sit and watch this movie multiple times a week. You'd be depressed out your napper, but that shouldn't be a distraction. You need movies like this every now and again. Well, Steve, that's going to round our review up, man, because I'm done speaking about it. I think we've done well. I don't know how long it went on for. I'm not entirely sure. There should be a little thing down there telling you, but it doesn't, because I can't see it because I'm blind as a bat. Needless to say, we liked it. What's your thoughts on it though? What do you make about The Father? Have you seen it yet? What do you make about the great Anthony Hopkins' second Oscar-winning performance? What do you make about Olivia Colman? All of the little elements within Florian Seller, is it Stephen, the director? The way that he adapted this to a motion picture from a screen, or a stage play. All the little disorientating stuff that was going on in it, very intelligently crafted. What was your thoughts on it? If you've got anything to say at all, you can comment below, share your thoughts in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel on YouTube if you want to see more content like this, hit the follow button over on Twitch for the exact same reason. And if you do, we'll see you, and if we don't, that's absolutely fine. But until then guys, as ever, bye bye.